I'm in Denver, Colorado, the mile-high city. Home of spectacular scenery, and I hear spectacular collections.
The cars in there are from the 1979 catalog lineup, and I've got them all in there, every single one.
This is a medallion radio.
Does it go with my shirt? I might have to take this one home with me. I'm gonna appraise them and tell these folks what their collections are really worth.
You're kidding.
Holy cow.
That's great.
I'm Andrew Zagers. I collect and appraise for a living. I'm on a mission to find incredible collections and uncover their hidden values. This is Extreme Collectors. I'm in Denver. Who doesn't love vintage jukeboxes and coin-operated games? Well, Phil loves them more than most. He's recreated an authentic arcade in his basement with all the bells and whistles.
Hi, you must be Andrew.
And you must be Phil.
I am.
I'm so looking forward to seeing this collection.
I'm looking forward to showing it off. Come on in.
All right, let's do it. Oh, man. Phil, this is sweet.
Thanks.
Oh, what do you call this space?
Well, I describe it as not your average basement, but I guess most people would call it a game room.
So why jukeboxes and pinball machines? What got you into this?
My dad took me to a lot of places that had jukeboxes and pinball machines, and the connection for me is with my father, but I live with my dad every day down there.
Is that your favorite machine, or do you have others?
How do you ask somebody which is their favorite child? But it's certainly one of my favorites.
I like this. These are icons of mid-century design.
1947 Rockola, you know, we played 78, very colorful wood cabinets. And in the 50s, automotive design started to present itself into jukeboxes. So you've got, you know, somebody would call those like Cadillac tail fins.
Absolutely. What vintage are some of these machines?
These are called wood rail machines, and the wood rails were made from the 40s through about 1960, and the manufacturers went to steel rails.
And it works?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, I love this game. I might have to take this one home with me. The paint finish is fabulous. Phil doesn't refinish his machines. Smart move. Because if it's not done right, it can really affect the value.
There's another room.
Oh, man.
So this area I call my baseball room. Everything you see has a baseball theme. And they vary from the 30s, 40s, 50s, but a little bit of everything baseball.
Wow.
And this machine in the corner is a 1937 Rockola All-Star World Series, and you know I consider this the premier piece in my collection.
So what did this cost you?
I was asked $2,000 to spend on this, and that seemed like all the money in the world.
You've done all the restoration on
I did
this.
do all the restoration.
That's really remarkable. What have you spent on the whole collection?
You know, maybe 30, 40,000.
Have you ever had the collection appraised? Do you know what the collection's worth?
You know, maybe 125,000.
Well, I will do an appraisal for you.
I'd be very curious to see what I'm told.
Phil has got some really special items here. I want to bring in a second appraiser to get the value just right. But first, I'm going to have a look at another collection. Dave collects toys. He's got thousands and thousands, and he loves every one. Collections of this size and scope can be worth a ton of cash. Hey, Dave, I'm Andrew.
Hey, Andrew.
I hear you got a basement full of toy cars?
Yes, I do. You want to see?
Yeah, you do.
I think you'll be impressed.
Oh, man. You've really used every square inch.
The more, the better.
Like, you've got all these, like, in the blister packs everywhere. You got Hot Wheels?
I got Hot Wheels.
You got red lines?
I got red lines.
Oh, love it.
These are my Hot Wheels. I got this one when it was 9 years old, and we got them 75 cents a piece.
The red line outside of its package is 1 to 300.
Yeah.
In the pack, with the lapel pin and everything, in that condition, that's got to be like 700 bucks.
Really? That would be the best investment I've actually ever made if it was about investments, for sure.
And who's 9 years old and doesn't open up a Hot Wheels?
Me. I joined the Bay Area Matchbox Collectors Association when I was, I think, 9 years old. I just loved cars in general, especially the ones with all the opening features and the really good detail. These are all French majorettes. When I was a kid, they were my favorite ones because they had the most detail and they had suspension. And when you're playing with them, hooey, that suspension was something neat.
This is like a store. There's 6 or 7 deep on the wall.
Got them arranged, and but that's half the fun.
Everything here is in pristine condition, right down to the original price tags, which really helps the value, because when those tags are peeled off, it can harm the package.
This is my original room. This was one of my first display cases that I started collecting with, and it's a Matchbox display case. The cars in there are from the 1979 catalog lineup, and I've got them all in there, every single one. So maybe that's a little nerdy, who knows?
No, wait a minute. 30 years of collecting toy cars. This is what you're worried about?
What does your wife think? Does she support your habit?
Nowadays.
Yeah?
Yeah, she did. She thought it was novel back then. And then it was like, a little bit.
I've just learned to embrace it, have fun with it. As long as it's all in the basement, it's great.
So how much have you spent?
I'm thinking probably $30,000 in 30 years.
So have you ever calculated what you think it might be worth?
No, a lot of people have asked me, but I haven't really spent the time to really figure it out.
Estimate it for me.
60,000, double my money.
I'll take it. I'm gonna give you a serious appraisal.
Okay.
Go through the whole thing.
That's wonderful. I've been waiting for it for years.
Well, you got 12 to 15,000 items here. It's gonna take me a while, so
careful.
let's get out of this room and leave me to work.
Excellent.
Everybody wants a pedal car. It's one of those fond childhood memories. Dave's no exception, and he's got a beauty. This is in mint original paint. Absolutely killer. First one I've ever seen with a working trunk. I value it at $550. Wish I owned it. When you collect as a kid just for the love of the item, you have no idea where your value is going to be down the road. Dave bought these when he was 14. Now, this particular case, complete and original and mint in its original case, $1,100.
Is this red vintage Catalan radio worth $2,500, $4,000, or $5,000? I'm gonna find out. I'm in Denver, Colorado, and I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Man.
I'm bringing in a coin-op expert to help me appraise Phil's incredible collection, but first I'm gonna give Dave the final value on his mint toy cars.
You approached your collection differently than most toy collectors. Buying something as a 9-year-old and never taking it out of the package, it's unusual. So you've created something that's got a certain amount of rarity.
So?
Do you want to know, really? I mean, what the collection's worth? So straight math on your collection. 12,000 items.
Mm-hmm.
Total dollar value?
Yeah.
$171,000.
Holy cow. You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
No, wow, that's gives me a weird feeling almost. That's pretty crazy. I am stunned. Almost 3 times as much as I really thought it was worth. So that's crazy.
Now I'll shake your hand.
Cool. Well done. Right on. Thanks a lot, Andrew.
Vintage radios are always highly collectible. You have to have a good eye and a little bit of luck. Bill, he's got both.
Hi there.
You must be Bill.
I'm Bill. You must be Andrew.
I am, and you know what? I've bought and sold a lot of radios. I can't wait to see yours.
Well, come on in.
All right. Oh, man. What a great space. Look at this stuff. Which one's your favorite?
I think the favorite would be the one that's got the best story, which is this one. I picked that up at the Rose Bowl, and it was in a cardboard box, and it said anything in the box for $5.
It's easily worth $4,000. This is fabulous. So you paid $5.
$5.
Well, what got you started?
Trying to find the console radio I had when I was a kid, and I wanted to sort of recreate the early days of listening to radio broadcasts. This is the Zenith console, and again, it was multiband. That's where I wanted to start.
The collection, it's got a lot of Art Deco. I can understand why you like it. It's got that Deco influence. You know, I mean, that's its era.
My wife and I love Deco.
This is the great transistor wall.
As soon as the Beatles showed up in the United States, immediately the Pepsi-Cola people handed them this transistor radio and said, listen to how many people in the United States are listening to your records. Many times you'll see this radio sitting on a shelf next to the Beatles.
Very cool.
In the 60s, manufacturers started to put radios in everything. These were called novelty radios, and Bill's got one of the biggest collections I've ever seen.
This actually is a medallion radio, probably one of the ugliest things ever made, but people would wear the darn thing. Now, whether they really did or not,
does it go with my shirt?
it matches. It's just fun.
So what's your total expenditure?
Over a period of time, maybe a couple $100,000. But I have passed some of these radios on. I no longer have all the radios I had. I have passed them on to another generation.
What do you think the collection's worth?
I would say probably $200,000.
Catalin or cast resin radios are not all created equal. It's about the shape, the color, the manufacturer, and most importantly, the condition. These two RCA Victors, I value them at $3,000 each. The Motorola is $3,500. The ever-popular Emerson Tombstone is $4,000. And my personal favorite, the Feta Bullet, a dynamite radio, is $4,500. Might have to make him an offer on this one. Before the internet, Japanese transistor radio could be bought at most flea markets for $5 to $10. Now with the internet, it's driven the price well into the hundreds. This wall, 350 radios, total value, $50,000. Bill, you really are the radio man. What you've accumulated is great. It's the whole history. It's 60 years of radio.
That's what it was about.
The other thing you mentioned was that you wanted to pass it along.
Yes.
You've probably sold off maybe $100,000 worth?
Yes.
I've gone around the entire room. Your investment is about $200,000?
Approximately.
And you thought its value was about $200,000?
Right.
So the total dollar value for your whole collection is actually $136,000.
Okay. Somehow inadvertently failed to account for the fact that I've already dispersed of some very, very valuable radios. That works.
No disappointment?
No, absolutely not.
Bill, it's been great. Keep passing them along. I like that.
I will.
Is this vintage Girl Scout uniform worth $1,200, $2,400, or $4,000? The answer may surprise you. Gold was found here in Colorado in 1859, but I'm finding riches of another kind here in Denver.
Holy cow.
I'm gonna meet up with a second appraiser to give Phil the final value of his coin-op collection, but before I do, I've got a chance to see something a little different. The Girl Scout motto is be prepared, but I have a feeling nothing is gonna prepare me for Carol's collection of Girl Scout memorabilia. Let's just say I'm prepared to be amazed. Hello, Carol. I'm Andrew.
Hi, Andrew. Are you here to see the Girl Scout collection?
I certainly am.
Well, come on in.
Thank you.
Right this way.
Well, would you look at this? This is fabulous. The attention to detail, all of the mannequins fully dressed.
Oh, yeah, it's a timeline order. And as we go back, we'll end up 100 years into Girl Scout history. It's been compared to museums, but it isn't a museum. It's just a collection.
cameras, paperweights. You must have been at this for quite a few years.
About 25 years.
Good for you. Were you a scout yourself?
Oh, my mother wouldn't let me be a scout. I don't know why. Mom didn't want me to be a Girl Scout, so I belonged to lots of other groups. But in my heart, I always wanted to be a Girl Scout. And as my daughter turned 5, though, she joined Girl Scouts and I joined too, and I got the whole experience, but as an adult.
Isn't that wonderful? Girl Scout cookies, that's the iconic thing. Everybody knows about the Girl Scout cookies, and I think everybody loves them.
Oh, everybody loves them. Well, when it first started, girls were baking the cookies in their kitchens.
Right.
And putting them in baskets and selling them door to door to their neighbors. And then it's evolved to the huge inventory or business that it is today.
Just fabulous. What's the most you ever paid for a piece of Girl Scout memorabilia?
It was this uniform, because when it came, it had this belt, which is very hard and rare to find because it's leather. And it's one of the most expensive pieces.
1919 to 1928. This is in remarkable condition. What did you have to pay for that?
I think we paid about $1,200 for it.
To the right collector, you could double your money on that.
Really? Well, they're not going to get it.
No, I understand that.
Amazing. You don't normally see 100-year-old uniforms outside of a museum. This will seriously add value to this appraisal.
And did you know that there's displays in all the drawers? More brownie beanies. The sock drawer. You found the sock drawer.
Nobody ever puts the socks on the bottom. Do you have an idea what you've spent over the 25 years of collecting?
Maybe $80,000, maybe.
Do you think that you've spent wisely? Do you think your collection is worth more than you paid for it?
I think it might be worth what I paid for it, because over the years, prices have fluctuated.
I think a big part of any collection's value is how it's curated, how passionate the collector is. To me, that adds a certain value.
And if I were appraising this collection on passion alone, it would be priceless, but I'm not. The name of the game is market value.
The Girl Scouts of America was founded in 1912. As a form of advertising, they produced these fabulous calendars. No tear sheets removed, January 1935, museum mounted, beautifully framed. Value on this, $750. Cast iron doorstops have never dropped in value. This one, circa 1920s, all the right patination and its original paint. I value this at $600. Carol, you've got a very great Girl Scout collection. I certainly think there are things here, items here, that you've paid too much money for.
Oh, I'm sure I did.
I've gone through the entire collection, every single item.
Wow.
In all the drawers, in all your showcases.
Okay.
The total dollar appraised value today for your Girl Scout collection
Is?
$135,000.
You are kidding.
No, I'm not.
I had no idea. Wow, that's a big number. The value really is in the having it and the sharing it with the girls. But it is cool that it's worth so much.
You've got some great pieces here. You've done a fabulous job.
Thank you. How about a hug?
Oh, now we're talking. Very nice. I accept all hugs.
Is this 1937 arcade game worth $25,000, $42,000, or $68,000? I'm on a mission to find out. Phil has spent years collecting and restoring pinball machines and jukeboxes. He's created an impressive collection. I'm bringing in coin-op appraiser Mickey Treat to really lock down the value of Phil's basement arcade.
Wait till you see this stuff. Hey?
Wow, I mean, this is an awesome collection. I can't believe what I'm seeing. And look at this machine right here. Chicago Coins Midget Skee Ball, 1946. It's about as rare as you're gonna find. Maybe 10 of these have been found, and they go for quite a bit of money, around $8,000.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, $8,000. Oh man, I can't wait to see more of this collection.
Well, I've got a whole wall of them over here.
All right.
These Wurzers are some of my absolute favorites.
I agree. It's $750. It's about a $7,000 jukebox.
Love the classic car fins. I mean, that's a favorite amongst collectors.
It's beautiful. It's around the $4,000 jukebox, $4,500 in that range.
They are gorgeous, but the truth is, the value of jukeboxes has gone way down over the last 20 years, and that's going to have a serious impact on Phil's final appraisal.
Keeney's Texas League are, you know, around $3,500.
And the one beside it here?
Heavy hitter, around $1,200.
And?
Oh, there you go, the number one game, yeah. 1937 Rockola World Series with the light-up marquee. It's absolutely beautiful. It's really nice inside. You know, it's $42,000 piece, and
And $42,000, is that asking price or selling price?
He could get that for that machine.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's a collector's dream. I've seen a lot of collections over the last 20 years, and Phil's right up there in the top, 1%.
So, I brought Mickey in. We've had a look around. You understand that the market has changed, especially on the jukeboxes.
Right.
Compared to 10 years ago and today.
Okay.
Having said that, you do have some very rare games that will help your final dollars.
Okay.
So the total dollar value on your entire collection, $183,000.
Wow. That's, I think I said 125.
I think you did.
So that's great. I like that.
Took a minute for that to sink in, didn't it?
I really am kind of shocked by it all. I never entered into this thinking that there was a potential return on my investment. Well, now all of a sudden, I have this great windfall. That's very exciting news.
Denver was incredible. I've seen mind-blowing collections, from Dave's pristine toy cars to Phil's really rare coin-op machines. I met Carol, a collector after my own heart, and I think I'm in love with Bill's Faded Bullet radio. Once a collector, always a collector.
I have one more question for you.
Yes.
Would you part with the Faded Bullet?
No.
Not for the right offer?
No. It's the right offer.
You've got 5. Is there any one there you part with?
No.
Oh, I was ready for a yes.